First of all, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. I know we have people calling in and joining us from across the country, so very happy that you could join us and really looking forward to sharing some information so that we can make this year a success. If I haven't met you in person or virtually before, my name's Robin Kennedy. I'm the National Manager of Signature Events for Crohn's and Colitis. So I live and breathe everything Gutsy Walk. We're of course very excited as we near August 23rd. I'm going to be mostly silent during the presentation. So I'm going to pass it over to Angie, who's going to be leading our media training for this evening. So Angie, over to you. Wonderful. Over to you when you're ready, Angie. I don't know if there's anyone else from your team speaking this evening, but if there is, by all means, feel free to drop an introduction just so we know who the speakers are.
Hi there, I'm on the line. My name is Natasha Malik. I'm the Marketing and Communications Manager, and I'm on standby for questions.
Sorry.
Robin, I think you're just on mute.
I was. Thank you for the heads up. Well, Angie, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you, Robin. Sorry,
Wonderful.
I had to dial in because the computer audio wasn't working. So I apologize.
Oh, no. That's okay. No problem. As long as we've got everybody here, and I'll hand it over to you whenever you're ready.
Great. I just want to make sure everyone can see the material. Did that work? You see the slides?
Yes.
Or do you just see me? You just see me?
I see the slides.
Awesome. Okay. I was a little worried there for a moment. So sorry, everybody, for getting started a few minutes late. And first, I want to start by saying thank you so much for joining tonight. And if you are listening in today or you're joining in at a later time, it means that you're interested in promoting Gutsy Walk. And we couldn't be more happy about that, because all of the efforts collectively ensure that we are able to promote Gutsy Walk as much as possible. And so it's a collective effort. And we are just delighted that you could be part of the team and helping bring Gutsy Walk to life. So we're going to cover a few things today. And I actually can't change my slide, so let's just see. Oh, there it goes. Great. So we're going to cover a couple of things in the training today. And, you know, first we got to acknowledge this is absolutely a different year than any year before. Digital is going to play an exceptionally big role in how Gutsy Walk is brought to life. And so we have to be very creative. And so what we're going to cover tonight is how to discover opportunities. How do you make the ask? The support that is available to you from Crohn's and Colitis Canada. And if you've got some interest, what do you do? And granted, there's probably a different level of experience in media pitching that is engaged here. So for some of you, this might be well understood. And for others, you might be just discovering what is possible and looking to get more information. So in terms of media, what are we really talking about? Well, we are talking about the ability to generate stories before, during, and after Gutsy Walk. We're talking about the potential of maybe placing ads that help promote Gutsy Walk, and ideally for no charge. And also including Gutsy Walk in the community listings that are across the country. And most publications do have an obligation to support the community, so they do have a vested interest in picking up stories like this. And in fact, Gutsy Walk, because of the nature of how it evolved and pivoted, might actually be of interest to a lot of publications. So what we've done is we've included some key messages in the tools and templates just to acknowledge the impact that COVID has had on our events and how this particular event has adjusted. The channels that we talk about are digital, print, radio, television, out of home. And like I said, digital is going to play a pretty big role this year. That isn't to say people aren't still reading newspapers. I know I still get my weekly community paper, and actually I'm a little bit more interested in it now because I seem to think a lot of people have interest in the community and what's going on and what people are doing. And how do you get media coverage? Well, it's about making the ask. It's about going out, reaching out to contacts, establishing contacts, doing a bit of research, preparing and pitching, and following up just to get yourself in front of key people. So here's an example article that is already run. It actually tied into World IBD Day, but at that point there was an opportunity for our National Honorary Chair to actually get a little story in the NiagaraOnline.com publication. So this is just an example. So discovering opportunities, like I said, it does require a little bit of research unless you know your community and everything that's going on, just to determine what publications, what assets are there locally, local TV stations, radio stations, newspaper outlets, online stories, etc. What are the things that touch your community or your city? It depends on the size and the scale. And to prepare a bit of an Excel spreadsheet that starts to document those publications and looking for and Googling, where they fit, what kind of processes they have to submit information, who are the journalists that might be interested, the key contacts, what are their social media accounts, so that you can understand your targeting list. And many of them have forms. So, starting to complete forms, starting to prepare your battle plan in terms of reaching out. And are there any influencers? Do you happen to know someone maybe who already works there? Are there connections into those particular outlets? Or maybe journalists who are on Twitter who you can start to get some attention from? And one of the tips I heard recently is start to follow those journalists so you can get to know what is on their mind and the kinds of stories that are of interest to them. So this is something that a lot of times we use in advertising. We call it a day in the life. So a day in the life of your community, what does it look like? What are people reading in the morning? What stations do they listen to? What online channels are they going to? What social media outlets do they go to for news and online? And just understanding who are some of the influencers in that mix. And what this will help you do is also help prioritize, because your list might get pretty long. Which outlets would have the biggest bang for your buck? So if you are, for example, in a major city, someone like, CTV Ottawa obviously has big reach and might be a prime target versus a smaller publication. So you might use that in terms of just your whole prioritization in terms of where to go first and how do you prioritize how many attempts and effort that you're going to put against each one of those outlets. So searching for local media outlets, again, identify the best person or reporter to contact. Some of those reporters could include from a print perspective, the assignment desk, health and lifestyle reporters, anyone associated with events that are running in the community. And another tip that was shared with me recently too was look at events that have run in the past. So if there have been community events that have happened in your area in the last little while, go see who picked up those stories. And they might be the same contenders that would be of interest for Gutsy Walk. And similarly, television and radio, the editors, the schedulers, the hosts, etc. Again, look at past articles. So did they, report on Gutsy Walk last year? Reach out to them. Have they reported on a recent charity event? Do they report on other community stories? Do they write local news stories. These are all contenders that you would want to reach out to. And then using the Contact Us page, you can find out key information like who are the reporters, their names. Sometimes their email is disclosed. Sometimes you can see that on their profile page if you look them up. And then, or if it's pretty vague, some outlets just have a general contact information page, which you can use too. So here's an example. So you might not know, I live in Oakville, which is in Ontario. And so the Oakville Beaver hits my driveway every Wednesday. So I know that it is a place that has a lot of local stories. And so I Googled it. And from there, I can see it's owned by the Metroland Media Group, which actually owns a number of publications. I can also see that it's associated with InsideHalton.com, and that's actually something that I follow and read. Their Twitter handle is @OakvilleBeaver.com, and there's some associated publications that might be of interest for targeting. So that's what I got from one Google on Oakville Beaver. Then I started from there to build out a little bit more information. So I Googled Inside Halton. From there, I can see Karen Michelli, her phone number, her email address. That's very likely someone I'm going to reach out to. And I can also see that Metroland has a form to tell us about a news story in your community. So I'm actually going to fill out that little form and include my name and phone number just to see if they are interested. So that's just a little example, but take that and magnify it by all of the various entities in your area, and you'll start to get a quite robust prospecting list. So getting prepared, we have a number of tools available. It's about preparing that attack plan and being prepared with some of the tools and that we're going to make available to you. And I'm certainly going to share some of those with you tonight. And know that publications are always looking for good community stories. And I think now more than ever, outlets are looking for ways that organizations have adjusted to COVID and how people can get more involved in the community, and people are looking for ways to get involved. So make it as easy as possible for them to see the value and the upside in them promoting and profiling the Gutsy Walk. Use multiple tactics to get yourself into the door virtually in terms of using some of those points of contact to make an impression with either the journalist or the publication. We have a media advisory, and so in fact, you could start using it even earlier, but the pitch, it's very short and concise. It talks about the event. It's going to talk about the fact that it's virtual. Obviously, they're not attending the walk, but there would be this engagement in terms of joining the walk virtually and asking them to cover the story. So this is a template that you can use. It's customizable, and you can use it to pitch to your local media outlets. Use compelling hooks in your email, and these will be in the key messages and in the templates. But there's also some information that you might need to add in that is local. So the total amount of the walk raised in the past, any attendees or your local honorary chair is important to mention. And if anyone's available for speaking opportunities, details about us, why the walk matters to the community, where the funds are, where they're going, and cater each one of those pitches, customize and make it relevant locally, and why it would be of interest to them. If you don't hear back, follow up, send a follow-up email. And again, these are on the Crohn's and Colitis Canada website under Get Involved, Volunteer Tools, Gutsy Walk. And if you're pitching by telephone, you might want to just rehearse your elevator pitch quickly, because you might just have a second or two to make an impression in terms of why they should be interested in this particular event. And you, of course, would want to mention that you're a volunteer with Crohn's and Colitis Canada. We will have a public service announcement. We don't have the TV PSA this year. We do have a radio spot, a 10-second and a 30-second spot that will be available probably within the week, and it will also be posted on the tool section. So, and along with that, there's a number of print ads. So how can you use this? Well, there might be local radio stations that are interested in playing the ads to promote the event. Sometimes they have excess space to run print ads, radio ads, etc. They might want to be and willing and able to actually provide a package to support this community event and do that free of charge. So we create these assets to help to make it easy to run these, and also to know that if there is the instance where you need something a little bit more customized, we can help you do that, and we'll talk about that in a minute or two. So these tools, like I said, are all available on the volunteer site. How can we help? Well, there are the key messages. There's the media advisory. You can always reach out to your staff partner or reach out to media@crohnsandcolitis.ca if you need specific help or have a question. If it is a high profile media opportunity, like an interview, you should always advise your staff partner, and we can in fact arrange for some one-on-one media training to help support that if that's needed. So the media advisory, like I said, it's a one-page document. It's the who, why, what, when, where, highlights, and contact information around the event, and it's customizable. So should you have interest, what do you do? Like I said, you're going to update your staff partner. You're also going to want to tell media@crohnsandcolitis.ca. One, because we are tracking all these opportunities. Two, we absolutely want to be able to share these stories or successes when they happen. Like I said, we can arrange for media training if it's a high profile opportunity, or suggest some participants if there aren't any candidates locally. Those fulfillment tools are available on Crohn's and Colitis. I see there's an I missing. We'll correct that at the volunteer section. And we have a number of ad templates which I'll share with you. And be sure to share those with your local social media primes so that they can also share these stories and successes locally. So here's some of the assets. So this is the print ad template. We have it available in a standard size, but it can also be customized if the size is different. So it has all the key blocks of information. It takes guts to find a cure. Sunday, August 23rd, 25 years, very important aspect of this year's event. Our call to action, which is gutsywalk.ca, and the little badge, now virtual, anywhere, anytime, English and French. So those are also on the volunteer tools section. We also have a number of digital ads available, so very similar in look and feel. And these are some of the standard digital ad sizes, but again, if the need comes up, we can customize that. The radio ad, I'm just sharing with you a little bit of the script associated with it, and from there you can see a sense of the message that we're going to be promoting through radio. A 10-second, very short and sweet, 30-second, and then with a call to action, register, donate, or volunteer at gutsywalk.ca, and available in both languages. Community event calendars are across Canada, and many TV stations have them, radio stations have them, local community publications, newspapers, etc. So again, making sure that this event is on the community event calendar so that they can be found. Some of the examples are here. There's certainly hundreds and hundreds of them across Canada. You may bump across some publications that have actually aren't running anymore. But again, you'll find that out when you start to look. So you might actually have a publication you worked with last year. I actually had that happen to me, where I was reaching out to a publication and actually found that they've closed doors due to COVID. But there's many of them that are still very active and very strong, have a strong presence in the community. So be sure to obviously include all the information. The template, again, is on the tools page, and the URL that is specific to your Gutsy Walk registration page. The other thing that's important to know, like, I'm not going to talk a lot about social media tonight, other than to mention that reporters use social media. So you can target them by tweeting, posting, engaging them in some tweets. You can also, as part of your targeting and prospecting strategy, use social media influencers to hopefully engage more people around your local walk. And this is about identifying people in your community that have a large group of followers and seeing whether or not they are connected to social causes and maybe are interested in helping promoting Gutsy Walk in your community. And again, it takes a bit of research for those that are active social media users. You probably know, you know who they are already, and can start to put a prospecting list and reach out to them through direct messaging or others, just to see if they're interested in helping promote our event within their own network. And this is all about extending our reach, getting as much visibility as we can in advance of the event, to up and encourage volunteers, to encourage participation, to encourage donations, to encourage stories. It's, the benefits are endless. The day of course, we'd love to get coverage on the day, and we will have at the time a national press release. We're just debating which day we will share that to talk about the event. We, of course, will be doing things nationally that you can engage in, and be targeting some reporters and outlets that are national in scope. What we're hoping you can do is to really accelerate that, amplify that locally with this local outreach. So in closing, by engaging and pitching local media stakeholders, you will definitely boost the success of Gutsy Walk before, during, and after. And again, we thank you for all your help in doing this, by, doing this and contributing your time and going through this effort. It really is such a value, because it's really going to help us. Ideally, we will be seen and heard throughout Canada, throughout communities across, Canada, and have some tremendous success with your help. So thank you so much. I'd like to open it up for questions now. And again, you can always email us at media@crohnsandcolitis.ca should you have any questions after the event. So is the way that the questions come in, is it going to be through the chat box, Robin, or are people going to submit?
Either or. If anyone has any immediate questions, we do have time to take a few on the call. Alternative, as well, if you're not comfortable asking a question on the call, you can connect with us at the office or through your staff partner as well.
I think Harry asked a question, but I can't actually read it because it's so small. Let's see if I can expand it.
I do just see a quick note there on the slide.
Mm-hmm.
Harry, if you're able to hear us, could you type it into the chat if that's okay? You can send it privately as well to myself or Angie if you didn't want to send it to the whole group. Oh, perfect. He was just confirming that he could see the slides at the beginning, so we're good.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good to know at the end of the presentation. Fantastic. But thank you for joining tonight. That's wonderful. Was there any other questions? Because I actually have trouble seeing them. It is very small. Is anyone on? Okay, these are all from the beginning. So it looks, I don't see any kind of current questions.
No, I don't see anything here. Wonderful. Well, in that case, we can wrap things up a little bit earlier. So thank you, Angie and team, so much for that. Very informative. If anyone would like, again, if you have any questions or anything, there will be, this is being recorded, so it'll be available through your staff partner. If you have anyone on your committees as well that wasn't able to make it tonight, we will have the recording available for them to review. And like we said, if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. So appreciative of your time and very much looking forward to all the things to come as we lead up to Gutsy Walk Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Take care.